Hi, welcome to the first unit and how we do notes here in physical science. And so you're looking at a note guide that you have. Your lines are blank or my lines are black. I'm going to unhighlight them as I speak, and then you will fill them in on your iPad, probably using Notability, but if you wanted to print out a blank copy of these notes, you could also do it that way with pen and paper. It's up to you. I'll have both options available. So the first unit in this class talks about, what science is, what does scientists do, and gets into what we'll be studying this year. So we'll start with what scientists do. Again, I'll highlight and you fill them in. So the things that scientists do, almost universally, depending on, not depending on what kind of scientist you are, they're going to investigate things. They're going to plan experiments, and they're going to make observations and test the results. So I should mention here, at any time, please, go and pause this whenever you need to. Obviously, I'm going to go through it pretty quick, but please pause when you need to copy things down. So the rules of the universe are the same everywhere. That's an important scientific fact because it makes that everyone is everyone is on the same playing field. Okay, we're all playing by the same rules. It's important when we investigate things that we're playing by the same rules because if we're not, it's hard to compare information. For example, it would be hard to compare the Twins' wins and losses to a Japanese team if in Japan each home run counted for 5 runs. That would be different. So they would have different rules. It would be difficult to compare them. Same thing here for science. We're assuming that the rules of the universe are the same, and that makes comparing results very easy. The way that we discover these rules is by investigation. And the broad definition of science, according to the book, is that it's the knowledge gained by observing events in order to discover facts and ideas that can be tested. There are many different branches of science, but all of them sort of do these 4 things where they investigate, plan experiments, observe, and then test results. It just might look different depending on what kind of scientist you are. So there's lots of branches of science. We're not going to get into all of them, but you might need to know some of them. For example, next year you'll be taking biology. Biology is the study of living things. This year you're taking physical science. Physical science is the study of matter and energy, and that's 2 sciences kind of fit in there, chemistry and physics. Chemistry is the study of matter. And physics is the study of energy and motion. And there's also earth science, which you can take here at Lake South as well. That's the study of the earth, the atmosphere, and weather. One thing that's cool about science and technology, if you follow along, if you're like a tech nerd or something like that, is that those 2 things work together. And technology, we say, is the application of science for practical purposes. So if just think about maybe you're watching this video on an iPad, maybe you are watching it on your phone. Those things continue to get smaller and thinner and lighter. And the reason that they get better and smaller and thinner and lighter and faster is that we are learning more about the components of a phone or a tablet or whatever it happens to be. And we're able to make them more efficient, make them better for us. So phones are a really good example because phones started and they were super big. And then eventually, they're much smaller now. They're more faster now. You can basically do anything you want with them. And that's completely different than when they started. So even every year to year, phones get faster and better. Scientists define pure science. Like if you're just learning science, we're looking for scientific knowledge. But taking that knowledge and then using it for practical applications, that's what engineers do. Okay, they take that and they make stuff with it. So again, cell phones is a really good example of a kind of thing that has really made leaps and bounds even in the time that you've been alive.